Welcome everyone. Woohoo! This is number 10. How cool is this? Maté Talk number 10. I thought I was gonna get up to number 4 or 5 and then it was like, finito la música. People are actually, which is pretty exciting, they're actually finding the Maté Talks. I think I had recently someone on episode 7, I think it was, who said, Maté Talk's so cool. I'm like, cool. I didn't go like that, yeah, cool. I was more like, whoa, cool, only because this is an idea that I'd been brewing in my head for a little while, but I didn't know whether it was going to engage. And I feel like there is an engagement, and I am appreciative. Thank you guys, I really do appreciate you guys joining me on this Maté Talk. Now, what's it about? Those who have been watching from the beginning, they're like, yeah, we know, but I'm just, for our new friends, I'm sharing this. So I'm Argentinian, we drink mate. Mate is a social drink. In Australia, we say mate. Mates are friends. So this is a chance for mates to drink mate or whatever it is that you enjoy drinking. Could be coffee. I've got a good friend in the US called Fred, and he loves to drink H2O. So whatever it is that you enjoy drinking, could be a Gatorade, could be a coffee, could be a tea, or it could be join me on a mate with a mate. Then let's do it together. Now I'm gonna come out of the gate real quick. Actually, and part of Maté Talk is about me experiencing fragrances that you would like me to check out. Put a lot of work in exploring and discovering, and sometimes I'll buy a fragrance and 3 months later, 6 months later, I'll do a review on it. So Maté Talk is really about hitting things right now, boom, 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 and you sharing things with me and me sort of having a look at that and exploring. I mean, one of the ones that I discovered recently, which I was like, it was glorious, Fragrance du Bois. I mean, I know of the brand, but Oud Bleu Intense. I did not know that this thing existed. What a glorious fragrance. If you haven't experienced this yet, go out and check this out. So it was through Maté Talk that we discovered, or Oud Bleu Intense was part of the discovery. So I've got on my hand here, Luxor. So Luxor by XERJOFF. Now, I didn't realize, or I forgot, that, so Luke reached out, and I didn't realize that it was during one of the episodes, which is African Leather. I did a review on that he wrote, can you know, what are your thoughts on Luxor, and you know, why don't you do a 2-minute breakdown on this guy? And so when I sprayed, I forgot that it was part of that African Leather. When I sprayed it, I'm like, whoa, like poof, bada boom, you know, it's part of the Oud Star lineup, and so you know you're gonna get a nice, robust Oud signature fragrance. Plus they use Laos and Cambodian Oud, so you know it's going to be legit. Anyway, it came out of the gate very Oud-like. I could smell a little bit of that cardamom at the start, but really the Oud was center stage and doing a dance. 2 hours later, well, actually 45 minutes later, really settled in, and I'm getting these wonderful spices, this warmth from the fragrance. Some of that the cardamom had come down. We're getting a little bit more of that cinnamon, even to the point I almost felt like there was like a caramel vibe to it. The Oud had come off, and I thought to myself, well, this is like a grown-up version of African Leather. So in response to you, Luke, African Leather, for those who haven't experienced it, go check that out. Glorious fragrance, easy. It's an easy entry level when it comes to leathery fragrance, when it comes to spicy fragrance. It does have a cardamom, but it's not really super intense. It doesn't come out of the gate really hard and fast, I don't believe. Whereas Luxor, I'm going to put it out there that this is for an Oud lover. So someone who, I mean, again, it's part of the Oud stars, so things like Ceylon and things of that nature. But as it settles down, and actually just then, it does have like a slight caramel warmth, or like an ambery something with spices in there. Again, sometimes I find that fragrances need to come out of the gate pretty hard, like with particular notes like cardamom, for instance, so that when in that dried down, they can still be playing in there and you're just getting that signature of that note coming through in amongst everything else. Glorious fragrance. I can see this as a beautiful winter. I don't own it, all right? So I went out to test it. Here's a video to prove that I was there. But yeah, rock and roll. This, if you like Oud, this is a great fragrance. And I would even go as far as saying that even if you're not, really super familiar with oud, this would be a great one to go and check out also. It's gonna come out very strong, so just be aware of that. Very like, oh my goodness. But it does settle down, and when it settles down, it's actually pretty special. I would like to move on to an evening at OLIGARCH. You thought last week was the end of that. Today is the thank yous. I mean, I gotta thank people for helping us bring this thing to life. It was a blast. We had so much fun. If you haven't seen the video, I'd love you to, oh well, go check it out. It went for about an hour and something, an hour and 40 minutes, I think it was. Kevin and I had a super amazing time, but there are two moments in the video that I'd love you to check out. One is the beginning. Have a look, and probably about, after I do, so I did a bit of an intro so people understood what was going on, so there was context to what they're about to watch. But after that has finished, something went off, a light went off. I think I saw something come off. Anyway, after that finished, after my intro, and you see us going live, have a look at how nervous we were. And in particular me, I had this sweat going on here, like a dry sweat. You know when you get like ultra nervous? There was a moment in time there, I said to Kevin afterwards, that I was getting so internally like wound up and stressed out that I actually wanted to get up and walk out and walk away. But I thought, I can't do this to Kevin. Imagine me getting up off that couch and walking away. It would have freaked this poor man out. Plus we were live. I mean, we had people, anyway. So what happened? So why did I feel this way? Why did I lose my place? I was explaining about the GRITTI family, or the GRITTI perfumes, which I absolutely love, but my brain just went south. So it took me just to give you background, myself and a crew member, it took us 2 hours to set up. So we had multiple cameras. There was quite a bit of tech behind the scenes to make the whole thing look, you know, as seamless as possible. I took a break because I knew that I wasn't hungry because I was a little bit nervous. And I took a break and I went to get something to eat. Now, when I returned, I was trying to zen myself. I was like, okay, this is cool. This is really exciting. I mean, I was saying to myself, because I do a lot of internalizing dialogue. I talk to myself quite a bit. Anyway, I was saying, just be in the moment, just relax, enjoy this moment, be in the now. Anyway, I get to the OLIGARCH door and Kevin comes out and he was a little bit excited and he said to me, bro, I can't believe people are paying to watch us. And I thought, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, people are actually paying to, and I knew that this was the case because I'd been doing all the background operations of it, you know, taking orders and then fulfilling these orders, getting orders out. But I'd been so, I guess, involved in the operations of it that it was more event management essentially. I mean, we even had a situation like a day before going live, we had one individual, thank goodness that this individual was local, whose parcel went missing. So we're trying to find how do we get this parcel to this person, and you know, anyway. So I was involved in the operations of it, then the setup with the camera and the gear and troubleshooting problems, that I wasn't thinking about the execution of it just yet until Kevin says, people are paying to be there. And I guess what resonated with me was, if I don't make this thing work, then people have wasted their money. I mean, anyway, that got in my head and I was quivering and I didn't want to because you know, sometimes when you give something attention, it begins to grow. And so I didn't want to make this thing anything. So I was trying to be cool, be calm. But again, watch the opening video and watch my body language. I am slowly, internally, what is it, combusting? No, what's the word? It's, I was imploding from the inside sort of thing. But I managed to, thank goodness, one thing that I was saying, so I had one side of my brain, you know, it's like the two things. One side was going, what are you doing? This is crazy. You can't do this. And the other guy's going, shut the hell up, man. You know, just let him focus. Finally, this guy won, and I was able to sort of settle down and relax. And you can see that after that, it sort of flowed. And yeah, anyway, it was a fun evening. We had a lot of fun. Now, another part that I want you to look at is at the 24-minute mark. And finally, I'm revealing. So those who may have watched the video where Kevin and I opened up the beehive and he got stung multiple times, have a look at his foot. I never sort of disclosed that the level of not so much, well, the level of attack these bees had on this poor man, but his leg had ballooned up, and he sent me a photo. So we talk about it in the actual evening at Oligarch, but his leg had ballooned up, and I was worried that this man had to go to hospital. But he went through it. He now knows, because prior to starting, he said to me, "It'd be cool to get stung. I've never been stung in my life, and I want to know what that experience, what that would be, to experience it, what would it be like?" So he experienced it. So I'm talking a lot. I'm gonna now have a bit of a Maté break. Okay, now on this hand here, I have a fragrance called You're So Vain. I am gonna put it out to everybody. Now, to give you context about what this is and why I'm gonna talk about it, one of the free gifts that we got was from GRITTI, brand new fragrance that hadn't been released in the country yet, called You're So Vain. And I was tempted, and I was tempted to open up the packaging and spray it just so I can, I'm such a sticky beak, and plus I love perfumes, that I wanted to spray the thing, but I thought, no, but whoever wins this, I want to do the right thing by that individual. Now, I never opened it, so I actually sprayed it, one during the class, but there was too many things happening and I didn't quite sort of absorb that moment. And the second time I sprayed it was when we were giving it away. So we did an Instagram live, I sprayed it on. I could not stop smelling this fragrance. That evening, it was, and I think I only did like 2 sprays. Now, if you like Hachivat, if you like Aventus, if you like Elysium, I'm gonna go and say, go out and test brand new fragrance from GRITTI called You're So Vain. Absolutely awesome. The US right now are going through summer. You will love this. This will work. But I'm gonna say in Australia, and we're going into winter, this can work as a winter fragrance. I know that I love using Hachivat as a winter fragrance. This is it. So it starts off with this wonderful grapefruit, very vibrant. There is some elements of that Aventus sort of vibe with the oak moss and things of that nature. It does have patchouli oak moss, and I think there was like white tobacco or something. Actually, I'll put the notes right here. Super amazing fragrance. Longevity on this, like I said, I sprayed it the other day. I sprayed this probably 3 hours ago, and it's still vibrant. I can still smell it as I'm moving around. So amazing fragrance, go check it out. I would recommend this one to you if you like those aromatic woods, dry woods sort of fragrance. So I'm gonna make something official now. It's gonna be YouTube official. It used to be Facebook official, now it's YouTube official. Excuse me. So again, during the evening at Oligarch, Kevin and we made a bit of an announcement, but now it's official, and that is that Kevin and I will be going to Italy. Well, not together. Well, yes, together, but I'm also going with my wife. But we're going to go to XERJOFF. So we'll be there at XERJOFF. We're going to be doing a bit of a run around and show off this amazing perfume convention. So super excited about this. It's happening in June. Now, one thing that we are doing, and one thing that happened during the evening at Oligarch, we had a lot of US and international people say, can you do something like an evening at Oligarch, but for an international audience also? The way that we like doing it is we want to experience perfume collectively. So it's about sending out discovery kits. People can smell the fragrance alongside us. We had a lot of US people who asked us that question. So we are looking in doing something with that, all right? So there is a brand that we're talking to in Italy that we are planning to do an evening at, and it's, I don't want to say the brand just yet because we're in the final stages of finalizing that. And so until it's a done deal, basically, then we'll sort of reveal. But yeah, there is a really exciting Italian brand that we're going to be doing an online event similar to what we did with an evening at Oligarch. We will be beaming back to Australia, so the Australians will be able to participate. But I'm trying to find a way that we can also beam across to the US. Time zones need to be sort of different to sort of match. But anyway, that's something that's in play right now. Pretty exciting. We'll be doing it from their actual store in Florence. So we'll be in Florence, be able to film alongside the actual, one of the key members of this organization, or this fragrance, or this perfume house, sorry. And so yeah, so it's gonna be pretty exciting. We're gonna be in Italy, and actually, I'm gonna be traveling again. I mean, I'm a big I love traveling. I mean, I could live on a plane, I think, and in different parts of the world. I'll share more about that once it all sort of comes to light. I would say by the end of this week, so next Maté talk, I'll be able to share more information on that. I would like to give a massive shout out to TLTG. And now Ross, he's one of the veterans in this fragrance community. He's been doing this for a while. He's actually very dynamic. So he hasn't been doing this for years and years. I think he's like 3 years old or something, or 2 years old. He has done some massive strides, as you probably know him with the collaboration that he did with George Zaharoff in his own fragrance. The reason why I want to give a shout out to Ross is I've been wanting to, so we're connected through Instagram and we've sort of just been chit-chatting. And I wanted to ask him some questions. I mean, I'm a newbie when it comes to this stuff here, and there are some things that I know I'm doing bad, and I know I'm sort of, and I just wanted to get a little bit of, well, just some insight, you know, like, how can I do this better? And I wanted to reach out to him for a little while, but I was also like reluctant, only because he's probably going like, get out of here. But he didn't. He responded to my message, very gracious in his comments, and super humble guy. I mean, anyway, so I just want to say thank you. If you are not aware of Ross and his channel, I'll put a link in the comments below. Have a look at his work. He's actually awesome, you know, and he's really diverse. So he covers the whole spectrum when it comes to fragrances. Whereas I tend to focus obviously on niche. I'm the niche fragrance collector. Whereas Ross covers designers and everything else. So if you like perfumes, then go check out his channel. He's just awesome. That's it. Now, I had one question asked of me by one of the subscribers. How do I pronounce my surname? This is what it looks like. Let me give you the background first. So it's Basque. There was once a country in between France and Spain, and it was called Basque. It got, I guess, absorbed by both France and Spain. Spain and France, so they're like this. And but they still are very patriotic, and they still have a very they still see themselves, that region there, they still see themselves as Basque and not necessarily as Spanish or French, depending on what side of the border they're on. Believe it or not, my body, the way my body is structured, I look like a Basque. I had a French friend years ago who, he looked at me and he says, Basco? And I'm like, yeah, well, my ancestors were from Basque, so there you go. So anyway, the surname, and I don't know how the Basque pronounce it, but from an Argentinian side of things, we say, or the Australian, actually, I'll big leader, but the Australians say OLLATAGUERRE, all right? Because any more than that, they look at that name and they're like, oh my gosh. So OLLATAGUERRE is how they say it here in Australia, but if you were to say it properly, it's OILLATAGUERRE. So you got to roll that R, and the two L's is a lia sound. If you're from Buenos Aires, you would say OILLATAGUERRE, because the two L's would give us a sha sound. But my parents, or my dad is from Buenos Aires, my mother's from Córdoba, but I grew up I was mainly in Córdoba. And so we say OILLATAGUERRE, boom. Marcelo OILLATAGUERRE. So anyone who can say it like that is, well, it's whatever. It's just, you're able to say it. Cool for you. Thank you, everyone. Always a pleasure to be before you. Thank you so much for your support. If you've got any things that you'd like to add, please remember, this is all about you. You tell me what you'd like me to investigate, check out. So if there's any new fragrances that you'd like me to have a look at, please let me know, and there we go. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you all on the next Maté Talk. Ooh.